Hey everyone, welcome back to the Maverick channel, and this is a quick update on Fetch.AI and a couple of thoughts about what I think the geographical future of blockchain and the whole cryptocurrency ecosystem is headed and what is the narrative. So before we start, for those that have always come back to watch this content, I truly appreciate you. If you're new to this channel, my main focus is Fetch.AI, but we tap into other things like the Cosmos network and other ideas out there in the cryptocurrency space. Well, of course, including the king Bitcoin. So sometimes I talk about that. So I have a few ideas, and I was just thinking right now, I'm like, hopefully let me make a video that's hopefully uncut. I'm going to, before I get into that theory, check this out. So Fetch.ai just announced that their agent, the DeFi agent that I reviewed sometime, that they launched like a week ago, has already passed 10,000 members. Guys, I used this agent, I applied it, it actually worked. It's an agent that's supposed to help with the whole stop loss narrative. So in case there's something happening with the DeFi platform that you're using, it engages a stop loss and your liquidity is pulled out. So in case of a rug pull, in case of any other, what are these things called, where someone where the team it's a flash loan attack where the team floods the token. So any such, where someone borrows way more than the token and then lends them back, and that creates this effect, this cascading effect on the price that causes it to just plummet. So this agent can actually help with all that. So guys, if you haven't actually experienced using this, I suggest that you go try it out. It's amazing. Preferably use the Binance Smart Chain because the fees there are way more manageable, at least if you want to try it out. So this is my theory, is that different geographical locations, different countries, different nations are going to have a blockchain system or a representation or someone that has created a blockchain system that is very revered, that is very respected in the world. And we can see that narrative currently happening. So with systems like Ethereum, they might seem like they're very, centered or leaning towards the United States, but Vitalik is actually Russian Canadian. So we could make that as, we could say that Ethereum in a way is representing the Russians and the Canadians. Then we look at the US. We can't really say Bitcoin because we don't really know who Satoshi Nakamoto is. But with the case of Bitcoin, most of the programmers, I imagine they're American. But when it comes to a blockchain system that has been created by an American, there's things like Cardano, but I'm not here to guess and name a lot of systems. Let me talk about the most controversial, the things that are out there, the things that have the largest communities, and the things that have been there ever since from the get-go of the whole crypto space. And that is the XRP ledger and the XRP ecosystem, this thing that's going to really revolutionize IOUs on the blockchain. And that company is going to keep shifting and turning and changing its strategies depending on what the law is in the United States, on what the interested parties are in the United States and what they're doing, what the financial fiscal policies are. So the XRP ecosystem or the XRP ledger will keep adjusting depending on what is going on. So we have the US being represented by that in terms of powerful blockchains that are being created. And of course, when it goes to places like China, of course, they're mostly centered around, the communist sort of government controlled blockchain systems. I imagine in the future they will be extremely powerful, just like the way you see the Chinese internet. It can still be used, though it has that limitations or that control by the government. And other geographical locations will have a representation of their share of the blockchain ecosystem as the future goes on, as this whole space evolves and this whole space matures. This animal develops into what we want to, into that unicorn that we want to see in the future. So for the case of Europe, of course, there's a lot of blockchain systems that have come out of Europe, but I think the one that's going to be the most dominant one is the one that I focus on this channel, and that's Fetch.AI, because Fetch.AI fuses artificial intelligence and the blockchain system. Of course, I reviewed Ocean Protocol. There's a video I reviewed Ocean Protocol, Singularity Net. Those guys are creating some amazing stuff. They're machine learning, their data marketplaces and the applications that they're selling. But the whole essence, the most brief, the most narrowed down narrative of Fetch.ai and what they're creating is these autonomous agents that can make decisions on behalf of their owners, these digital assistants that can be pre-programmed to make spontaneous decisions on behalf of their owners. So in this video, before actually I'm coming to the end, but I wanted to make a quick review of this particular page on the Fetch.AI website, which is Fetch.AI/technology. So there's this diagram. I like looking at diagrams because they say pictures say 1,000 words, and by looking at this picture you don't need to actually do a lot of reading. We could keep on referencing on what they're trying to explain here, but we don't need to do much. So essentially, when you look at this picture, it explains where Fetch.AI is, and also in part where they plan to be, but everything has been already developed. It may not be already attached, but the pieces are there, and these pieces to a puzzle, they're just waiting to be organized and placed in there, and all the testing is supposed to happen, and after all that is done, things are supposed to fit perfectly like a glove. So this picture explains the whole essence of Fetch.AI, and what I wanted to note on one of the most important things is that aspect of interoperability. So when you look at this picture here, it shows these agents essentially being at the highest level of this system. And at the lowest level, you're seeing staking, governance, identity, and that's what I think they're referring to as the agent metropolis. So that's where all the smart contracts will be executed. For example, you can see the Ethereum blockchain has smart contracts, and that's the thing that really made the Ethereum network the way it is. So imagine a system that has a language, which is I think called Etch, that supports machine learning algorithms and calculations, all that mathematical stuff. And this Fetch.AI ecosystem also supports that infusion of, well, it supports the infusion of machine learning, blockchain technology, but also having smart contracts that can blend into all that. So imagine creating decentralized autonomous organizations, or creating agent oracles, and having a smart contract that can actually, you create a smart contract, or you create smart applications using the smart contracts on the agent network. But these contracts are different from the traditional contracts that we know, because they're made smarter by the advantages that are brought forth by the availability of these autonomous economic agents. Now, that is further accelerated, that is further made more powerful by the idea that the Fetch.AI is infused with the Cosmos network. Now, of course, these other interoperability networks, or other networks that are trying to build interoperability, but let's call a spade a spade. The Cosmos network has actually built the inter-blockchain communication protocol, and as we speak, there's that actual interoperability between different networks, not just within the Cosmos network, but you can also jump outside of the Cosmos network, especially with proof of stake right now, and they're building that hub for proof of work as well. So the agents are lying essentially on top of this ecosystem, and there's a search and discovery. This search and discovery connects directly to the Fetch.AI blockchain. So the agent, if you can create different agents, you can interact solely with the Fetch.AI blockchain, and you can search for that agents within that ecosystem. But it just doesn't limit you to that. You can deploy an agent and directly communicate with the Fetch.AI blockchain, with the smart contracts and all these other things that come with it, staking, governance, and identity and whatnot, without necessarily having to go through the search and discovery. And there's this peer-to-peer network. The agents can communicate directly with themselves without having to first channel through all these routes. The agents can also directly communicate with other side chains like Ethereum, Cosmos, and other networks out there, say the Polygon-Matic network that's scaling Ethereum. So because of that inter-blockchain communication protocol on the Cosmos network, it allows that versatility of the agents. So you can do with these agents whatever you see fit. But the advantage that holding the FET token has, basically the FET token is the native token of the Fetch.AI ecosystem that governs this whole ecosystem. The purpose, you're not limited into holding this token. You don't have to continuously transact with this token, but to create an agent, to have the full functionalities of what the Fetch.AI system or blockchain provides, you need to have these FET tokens that allow you to spawn Fetch.AI agents, that allow you to interact with the Fetch.AI blockchain at its fullest capacity. So guys, that's all I wanted to actually talk about. This picture explains a lot. Of course, if you read these explainers here, they will explain a little bit about the agent framework, the open economic framework, which is essentially the world within the agents interact with each other, they can understand themselves. So this can really enable things like the Internet of Things, economy of things. If you have autonomous vehicles, they can communicate with stop signs, and it allows this seamless communication between machines, between humans and machines, between the virtual world and the physical world. So it enables the agents to reside in that environment and communicate with themselves in a language that they understand, and be able to make autonomous, spontaneous decisions in this ever-changing dynamic environment. So these are the advantages. Of course, we remember that the blockchain system is a permanent system. It cannot be changed. It's immutable. Whereas things like machine learning, artificial intelligence, they're probabilistic. They are constantly changing. They're constantly using different weights to find different solutions, or the most optimum solutions. So fusing that security brought about by the blockchain ecosystem, and fusing that with artificial intelligence and machine learning, and then introducing interoperability in there. And these are the different features like decentralized finance, openness, and the ability to use smart contracts and create decentralized autonomous organizations and automate them. In this sense, I truly believe that the Fetch.AI, with all these features, is the blockchain that's going to emerge from the European region. But the reason why we're here is because blockchain systems are open. Blockchain systems are accessible to anyone, anywhere in the world. They're borderless. They're unifying this world. So even if these systems may be emerging from a certain geography, their use cases are not limited at all by that geography. And anyone, whether you reside in that space, in that earthly geography or not, you can still participate in these ecosystems at the fullest level without any limitations. Where I always say your only limitation is your mind and what you want to achieve. Guys, so that's all I wanted to bring to you guys today. I hope you learned something. I always do. I always learn a lot when I go searching out for this information, and I hope to see you on the next one. Bye bye, guys. Take care.